Hey guys, Tom here. Today we're going to be looking at creating a snow globe and phasing through glass. Link in the description will provide 50% off the 3D particle pack.
We're going to begin with two composite shots. The first is already set up for our final result, which I've named Globe Exterior, and the other is forged from our footage layer. I'll right-click this layer and select Make Composite Shot, calling this Globe Interior. For the time being, let's work on the snow globe and camera motion. The snow globe look itself is rather straightforward. We'll go into the effects window, open the warp tab, and apply Lens Distort to our interior layer. By adjusting the distortion amount and scale, we can see the initial effect. In my version, I've gone for a distortion amount of -0.45 and a scale of 0.37. Just to neaten the positioning, I'll also move the globe up by using the central parameter. In order to animate this, drop down a keyframe with the current settings, move back a couple of seconds on the timeline and adjust our distortion amount back down to 0 and the scale to 1 in order to have the effect unfold. I have here a PNG image of our snow globe, of which I'll drag into the timeline. We'll be using this for our snow globe's base. So we'll go to the end of our animation, select the layer and scale down, moving it into alignment with our footage. Once happy, duplicate this base and set it above our globe interior layer. We're going to cut out a section in order to give the appearance it's sitting within the base. So we'll select our top layer, go over to the viewer and press F to activate the freehand mask tool. Go around this area just to get the lip and enough coverage of the sphere. Now we need to parent this to our motion. However, our motion is caused by an effect, and we can't parent to them, but we can cheat it. Let's click on the New Layer tab and select Point, naming it Movement. Go to the position and set this to the same values as our Lens Distort center, then parent the base to our point layer. This will keep our scaling to a similar position and resemble our camera motion. Now by using the snow globe base as a reference, we can adjust the scale till we have a perfect fit. In this example, the starting scale of 400 down to 100 gave a fitting result. With the motion complete, we'll highlight all the keyframes and set them to Smooth In from the icon above the timeline. Throw in a background and parent this to the movement point layer. We should now have a smooth motion that gives the impression we're zooming out of the globe. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'm of course kidding. This looks good, but we can add a few elements here to take it further. For one, HitFilm has a few effects that we can apply to create lens refractions. This will help give the impression that we're passing through glass. Let's go into our globe interior composite shot. Once in, right-click and create a grade layer. By pressing the F2 key, we can rename this to refraction. For this effect, we'll go into the effects window, open the channel tab and find channel time shift, applying this to our grade layer. This separates the RGB values dependent on time. Try not to worry on application. Dependent on your values, the first few frames are going to highlight or remove particular RGBs. Simply extend the shot past this point. With this set, let's move red to -10, green to 2, and blue to -15. This however requires motion to see results, and currently in my shot, I'm static. To apply some motion and give that warp through glass effect, we're going to apply a Chromenotor. Back in the effects window, go into Distort and apply Chromenotor. Leave the channel to luminance. Keyframe the refraction distance to rise and fall over the course of the camera motion, starting at 0, peaking at 0.1 during the middle of the transition, and drifting back to 0. Set detail scale to a size that covers the subject. For me, this went to 500. This will now provide the motion to also offset our channel shift, creating the refraction we need. If we jump into our globe exterior composite shot, we can skim through and see the effects coming together nicely. The only thing missing from the snow globe is the snow. We'll jump back into the globe interior, and in the effects window we'll go to Particles and Simulations, finding the Particle Simulator. We won't need to apply this to a layer, as HitFilm will generate one for us. We can name this layer Snow. Let's access the effects in the control window, and we're going to first set up our particle emitter. For our shape, I'll use a cube, positioning it to the top of my scene, and use the scale values to extend over the sofa. I'm leaving this space in between the edges because in our other composite shot it's going to cause some distortion in this area, and that will look messy. Just as a creative decision. Be sure to extend the Z value to provide some depth. For the particles themselves, set to an amount per second that you feel fitting. I went with 150 per second. As we'll eventually provide a ground to collide with, we need these to last throughout the scene. So extend the life to 60, set the scale to 25, bounce to 0.2, and friction to 12. So that everything doesn't move in unison, open movement variation, and adjust the scale and speed. We don't need too much variation. I tend to stick between 5 and 20. We'll apply forces by pressing the plus icon beside it. And in forces, we'll open up type and lower the strength to 3. This will provide a gentle fall for our snow. Last thing this needs is a deflector. Add one from the plus icon beside its tab, and this will provide our snow a place to fall onto, representing the floor of my shot. First, set the shape to cuboid, and like with our emitter, adjust the scale and positioning to fit over the collision area. Now, once the snow reaches the cuboid, it will gently stop and rest. With everything done, it's always good to go through and see what little touches can be added. For one, the camera movement doesn't appear to have any motion blur. To cheat this, we can animate a small zoom blur to our footage in order to help. Something I felt really helped sell this effect was to copy the background layer, bringing it into the interior shot, and keyframe the opacity to grow over the motion, acting as reflections of the surrounding area. Another suggestion would be adding a light leak on exiting the snow globe. There's a lot of fun that you can have with this effect.
Thanks for watching. We here at FXhome hope you have a happy new year. We have an upcoming sale to kick off 2019, so do keep an eye on your emails. Let me know if you have any questions, and don't forget to subscribe.